Welcome back to another edition of the State of My Black series. I've made a few little changes to the little cubicles. This one used to have the pilots at the back that I had. It had Poe, Asti. I keep not getting his name right. It's Asti or Atsi. I can't remember. I think it's Asti. Luke in his X-Wing pilot's uniform, and also Wedge at the back. But I've swapped it out. I've brought down the Super Battle Droid on the stap. I thought it went quite well behind the Super Battle Droids and Jango Fett. And I've also brought down my Droidica and just sort of stuck it at the back there. I did use some more of that Kiki's loose joint fix I showed last week on it, just to stiffen up those legs, because it's a cool figure, but those legs are a bit spindly to support all that weight after a while, so I just sort of gave it a little bit of that, and it seems to have done the trick. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that for the moment. It does look a bit empty at the back, looking at it through this camera. Maybe I could put a little backdrop in there and it might make it look a bit better. I've also added Dr. Aphra at the back here in the Book of Boba Fett display, just behind Cad Bane and Cobb Vanth. Also moved the Pike Side Rover a little bit, so he looks like he's looking at the battle between them. The rest of the display is pretty much the same. But I really wanted to have Dr. Aphra and that little group on display somewhere, so I thought they fit quite nicely in the back there. There's a bit of a gap, so I quite like the pose. And it's sort of good, I think, having sort of both versions of Chrysanthemum in the same sort of cubicle, you know, the comic book version, which is a bit ropey looking, and the more live action one, which is a very cool looking figure in my opinion. The Rogue One display is still pretty much standing. K2SO has stood a lot better. He's only had one fall since I've done that Kiki's loose joint stuff, so quite happy about that. Probably will do another round on those ankles though. I've also just stuck Merrick in here. He was with the pilots. I forgot to mention him earlier, but I've just put him over here with the in the Rogue One section, because you know that's where we know him from. I've tidied up and slightly rejigged the Mandalorian display. I've stuck the 3 Shriek Hawks that I've got over here, which I think look quite nice. Sort of got them on a side angle with them looking over. I've re-put Bo-Katan and what's her name? Koska Reeves. Is it Koska? Yeah, Koska Reeves. Next to the armourer. And then I've got his friends over here. I've just put Migs behind Kara for now. I think that sort of looks nice. Again, I set the Anzellans back up with Grogu, and they're sitting next to, or standing next to the Mandalorian. I also decided to bring in a Luke, seeing as we do see him in the series, so I've just got him at the back there. Probably not the best position, but I had him sitting around without a place to be, so I thought I'd put him in there. I think he looks quite good. Moving down here, we've got the my sequel trilogy sort of display. I really like the way I've got Kylo Ren and Han Solo here. I think it's one of the best moments in the movie. Definitely one of the most emotional ones, seeing your hero die. I've stuck those pilots at the back there, Poe and his mate Asti, or Pasti, or whatever his name is. Got old General Organa there. I also put in a Finn and another spare raid I had floating around. I've got the Rebel, or the Resistance Trooper rather, and the Guavian Enforcer at the back there. And I've sort of tried to put Chewie in a pose like he's just seen Han get killed, and he's sort of really sort of upset. That's actually my original blue box Chewie, who doesn't really have a place now since we've got the upgraded one. So the upgraded one's sitting in the cantina with the upgraded Han, so this Chewie's just doing a little, putting a bit of standing. I might give him a little sort of turn, because he does look like he's not quite looking at them. Let's see if I can do that now. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit better, like he's at least sort of expressing his anger and upset at his friend dying. Yeah, I quite like it. I quite like the way they're sort of focused on it, like Han's reaching out to touch Ben's face, like we see in the movie. And I quite like the way he's leaning forward on his leg there. I mean, they are balancing against one another, so I don't think Kylo would stand on his own if I took Han away. But yeah, I think the pose kind of works. I quite like it. Might be cool to try and put it on some sort of backdrop, like they're out on that sort of big walkway that they're on that we see in the movie. But for now, I'm quite happy with it. It's only a small little display. I do still really need to get hold of an old Luke, because he's missing and he's pretty much integral from the movie, and we've only got that one, so I should really get on it and get him. But I just don't love the face sculpt of it, to be honest, so I don't think they've done the greatest job. But I will get around to getting one eventually. Also been trying to sort out my doorables as well. I really like this little line of figures. They come in like them blind boxes, so you have to buy them and sort of get a random figure. I've only done it a couple of times when I was beginning each series, and the rest of them I've just sort of bought pre-owned, so I don't have to sort of keep buying ones and accumulating a load of doubles. This is mostly series 2 that you can see here, except at the back you've got that exclusive unmasked Vader and this metallic-y looking Boba Fett that both came with this carry case that you don't really need, but I just liked it, so I got it, and it was a reasonable price. It was mainly because of them two exclusive characters that I got it. But yeah, I've got most of series 2 there. I've just completed series 1, and I'm just sort of working on some little 3D printed things to stand them on. So there's some of series 1. I've still got the rest of them somewhere else, just whilst I'm sort of messing about with how to display the 3D stand bits. But yeah, I'm doing that. It's a process. There's just a couple of ones on top of each other, so I might make a little block so I can make them a bit higher, because they're so small. I want to sort of take advantage of as much of this cubicle as I can. I've also got some more here, which are some of the other packs, and some of series 3 at the back there, and also a couple of the little scene ones that he did. To be honest, I'm not really bothered about the scene ones. I mean, they look kind of cool, but I'm more like the fact that they've got exclusive little characters that you can only get with them. I've got some of the vehicles as well. Again, I'm not overly bothered about the actual vehicles. It's more the fact that you get an exclusive design of the character that comes with it. So that's the bit mainly that I got them for. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep collecting those sort of sidelines of it, like the ships and the scene ones. I do definitely want to collect all of the 4 series that they've done so far, and if they bring out a 5th series of individual characters, I'll get that too. But yeah, I've just been trying to sort out these doorables quite a lot this week. They're taking up 4 cubicles at the moment, and seeing as they're sort of the smallest things that I've got, I definitely need to sort of rectify that, which is why I'm trying to 3D print those stands and trying to sort of confine most of them to 1 cubicle. I think I should be able to get all of the 4 series into 1 cubicle, so that's what I'm working on doing at the moment. Also got this new line, which is from the recent, or a couple of years old now, the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Somebody was selling all 6 of the characters for really cheap, so it only worked out to about a £5 each once I'd even paid the postage, so I just had to give them a go and see what they're like. I've only recently seen the film because I had to get a copy of it on DVD, because I was hoping it would come out on a streaming service like Netflix or Amazon or something, but it didn't. I think it only came out on Paramount, and I haven't got that, so I just picked up a second-hand copy of it on DVD, and I really enjoyed it. It was a fun film. Definitely recommend giving it a view if you haven't seen it yet. Wouldn't recommend getting the figures though. They're made by Hasbro, and they do have their issue of balance and standing. I mean, you can see how I've got, this is Michelle Rodriguez, by the way. I've got her character Holga standing. She's had to have a very wide leg stance just to stay up. I do like these larger figures they've got with it though, this owl bear that they've got in it, which is a really cool figure. It's really heavy, really robust. Yeah, it's really that I do like. The individual characters, not so sure about their likeness and their articulation, but this big monster character, yeah, I like it a lot. But yeah, I've got the main characters that they've released in it. There's a couple more sort of creature characters that they've got in the line that I want to get, so I'll get them as and when I can. I'm also collecting the cartoon classics, I think. Dungeons and Dragons, also by Hasbro. I've got a few of them, but I want to wait until I've got the whole set before I sort of open up and display them. So I've still got them in box and storage for now. But yeah, these are quite nice. I quite like them. I don't know if they'll get them a whole cubicle, dedicate a whole cubicle to them, but for now they've got their own one. I've also changed this top shelf quite a lot this week. I've removed most of the characters from it and I've hung these pictures up. I got them from a UK artist. They're prints of his original works, but I think they're really cool and I think they really work quite well. I put them up here to sort of go with these Weta Workshop figures, statues that I got, which I really love. I think they're awesome stuff by the Weta Workshop. I think I showed them a couple of weeks ago briefly. But yeah, I've got sort of a deep print to go with my Deet statue. I've got a Kira and Fizzgig print. Sorry about the reflection of the light on the plastic, on the acrylic on the frame. Yeah, but we've got Kira holding Fizzgig here to go with my Kira statue along with Fizzgig. Really like that. And lastly, we've got my Jen print. And that goes with my Jen statue just down here. Really like the Jen statue. I didn't even notice before I got it in the when I was looking at the promotional pictures in the advert that he was holding the crystal shard in his hand. So that's a real nice little added detail. But yeah, I really liked them. I was putting them up there. I'm not sure what else to do with the rest of the shelf because when I just had those three on it, I'll show it in a minute and clear off the shelf. It looks very, very sparse. So I've just stuck those other characters up there for the time being. They were on the shelf before, if you might have seen those videos. If not, yeah, they've always been on there. So I might sort of rejig them around a little bit and find other places for them. So, but for now, that's how they are. Okay, here's a shelf without the other statues on it. And as you can see, it looks a bit empty. I'm going a bit closer and have a look. Also, I think it definitely sort of shows off the idea of having the portraits, or the prints rather, behind the statues. It makes the rest of the shelf look pretty sort of empty. Yeah, quite an empty shelf without anything else on it, so I don't know what I'll do about that. I might either sort of try and put some diorama pieces up there, like little bushes or trees, you know, from other sort of miniature things, or try and make them. I did see a very cool video by Weta Workshop where they was making a big sort of tabletop diorama, and they use all sort of manner of things from sort of real branches and sand and sort of all sorts of stuff really to make a little sort of scene, and then placed all these sort of dark crystal statues within it. So I might sort of take inspiration from that and try and put something up on there, but I'm not sure really. I don't want to make this shelf get too heavy with real rocks and stuff like that. I'm worried about them dropping and these statues breaking, but yeah, there's something to play with or something I might do. But I had this idea to put these prints up with the statues. I thought it'd look good, and yeah, it does look good as far as I'm concerned, and in my mind. But it does mean the shelf looks a bit empty. So that's something I didn't really think about before I did it. But yeah, I'm quite happy with it as it is, the way it is now. Also got a few of these little bronze statues, if we can see them, like a little bronze witch, a little bronze witch's cat in a hat, and a little bronze fennec fox. I thought they all went together quite nicely. And yeah, it's something that I would like to get into collecting as well, some witch statues or witch figures, although I haven't really been able to find too many. Also moved all my dragons into the other room and onto another shelf. I was running out of space for my DVDs because I still sort of buy them, and I popped them at the back here. As I mentioned, I got that Dungeons and Dragons one. And also decided to get Labyrinth and Dark Crystal on DVD, so I had a copy of them. I also got the cartoon Dungeons and Dragons, the full set, as well as the special editions, or the enhanced editions of Lord of the Rings. And there's just a basic one that I saw in a charity shop for £1, so I thought I might as well get it. And I've arranged all my sort of dragon figures around it. We've got the sort of older ones that I had in there before, in the other room before, all just arranged along here. As well as a couple of new little brass ones that I got when I bought those witch ones that I just showed, which I kind of like, but they are very, 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 very small. And then over here I've got a few other ones that I got in a little job lot that was quite inexpensive as well. And they did get a bit broken in transit and I've had to glue them back on, but I don't think you can really notice it too much. It's a bit hard to get focused on these properly. They're a little bit an awkward part of my room, so I'm having to lean over and stretch quite a bit. So sorry about not getting these as clear as I possibly could have done. So yeah, that's pretty much the changes that have been made this week. So yeah, I haven't managed to get around to the full tour again. I'm making bits of it on the side, but I do tend to change so much of this around each week that I'm not sure if I'm going to have to redo some of them bits. But yeah, it is coming, I promise. The full tour is coming. Anyway, thanks very much for watching again. Hopefully see you or speak to you again in another video. Take care.